Hello, hello. It's been a hot minute and there's been a lot going on for me. So glad to be here to kind of talk it through and process by myself. That kind of seems what YouTube is good for me. Um kind of went away from carnivore for a minute. Just made some choices that weren't fantastic and kind of just said forget it. But I had family visiting and I started to notice that my eczema spots, a couple of them were coming back. And I got a new one on my back. And I've never had eczema there before or anything itchy or skin related. And this was pretty bad. So one day we were at a theme park. So family was visiting. We were at a theme park. And while we were waiting in line, I decided to go back through my old pictures from 2021 and look at the ones that I had taken of my eczema spots, the really bad ones that were on my arms and my legs. And everybody in the family was like, what are you doing? Like why are you're looking so intently for these pictures? I needed it as a reminder of why I started eating this way, why I started doing things like fasting, why I wanted to get into ketosis, why carnivore really works for me. And I remember finding the one picture of my left arm just like covered, and I have tattoos on both arms. Um and one spot of eczema got to be about like this big around my wrist, and it like puffed up my tattoo here and it was just really bad, and I remember it like hurt. It was so itchy. um and that was a good reminder for me of like, you need to stop this. This is where that itchiness on your back is headed. um and I remember I took one picture and I had all these splotches like here on my chest. And so I was wearing like more high collared shirts, definitely long sleeves everywhere we went. Looking back at the pictures from like that time period, um, long sleeves for sure. Um, Shirts I probably wasn't all that comfortable in. And it's funny how your body just kind of glosses over that because I don't remember being in that much pain or it itching that much. But then I start thinking about the fact that I needed like two Benadryl to fall asleep at night, and I got a steroid cream, which I pulled out, what was that, 2 weeks ago now? And I used on the little spot on my finger that had come back. It's now since cleared up. So it was a rude awakening of like, you've got to stop slipping up. And at this point, I don't know what it was that I slipped up with, whether it was the ice cream. I suspect that's what it was because ice cream has so many ingredients that my body doesn't like. Um, but I mean, there was ice cream in there. At one point, there was, I think I did like paleo beef stroganoff. And what else? I had a s'more at some point, which I think I talked about on here. But the slip ups just kind of continued. It was like I would start the day carnivore and it went really well and whatever. But then if I got bored, if I got stressed, if I like just was trying to find another activity, I would find myself at the fridge. And I have to stop doing that. That's all a mental thing. So I'm working through that now. Um, it's always a work in progress. I think, when you have sugar addiction, when you have food addictions, when you are, you know, a binge eater, like those things, they constantly creep up. Like this weekend, we're having a birthday party for my son, and there's gonna be, I was hoping for like paleo cupcakes from a friend of mine, but couldn't make that happen. So these are like conventional cupcakes from a really good local company. But that doesn't mean that they're quality. And yet the smell of sugar is going to be there. And I know that. And I need to, um, I'm just going to have to fight through it. Like that's all there is to it, right? I'm the mom of the birthday boy. I have to be there. I'm just going to have to like fill myself up on carnivore foods before the party starts and keep a bottle of water in my hand and try to let somebody else like do the food part of things, and I'll focus on the games and stuff like that. But it's always a battle, you know. It's always a thing, and you know, I know they say like give solid carnivore 2 weeks and, you know, it'll be a lot better. Doesn't work for me. Um Been there, done that. Now, in the meantime, I will say I've done some fasting. I've started to reincorporate that. Um, I was able to do a 24-hour fast and then a 48-hour fast. And this week I was hoping to do 72 hours, but I got to about the 31 hour mark yesterday, and it was like, there was like dizziness and major cravings, and it was like not a situation where I felt comfortable fighting through it. Like it just wasn't going to serve the purpose that I wanted it to. And so I felt comfortable breaking the fast. And I've done enough fasting over the years that I know those things about myself, that I know kind of when to draw the line and when to be like, no, I can fight through this. I have to look at my calendar, but I think it was probably a hormone thing. I think I'm getting fairly close to my cycle, and around that time, at least since my son was born and I got my cycle back, there have been major cravings and all of that. And at least this time, instead of like breaking the fast with junk and just being like, oh, I want all these other foods, I gave in and I had some chicken, I had some butter, I had a carnivore quesadilla, which is the egg white wraps and cheese. You know, I really like them. I don't know. I know there's people that don't like the texture and stuff like that, but the egg white tortilla things with some sharp cheddar cheese, it's good stuff. All melty and delicious. And then this morning, like, I had a 12-hour fast. I stopped eating at sometime around 7:30 last night. Well, I guess it was 13 hours. And I had breakfast around 8:30 this morning. So, you know, shortening the eating windows is fine, but I'm more concerned at this point about making sure that I'm full, making sure that I don't give in to cravings or give in to patterns of like, oh, I don't really have anything to do right now, so I'm going to go eat. That doesn't work for me. So, working my way around that. At this point, I'm down about 5 pounds from like what was my heaviest a few weeks ago, which is awesome. It's a good feeling. Still 20 pounds up from when my son was born 6 months ago. It'll be 6 months on Saturday, which is crazy that I've been so exhausted and so overwhelmed and all of that, but it really did fly by. Like, it's crazy that he's 6 months old. And getting ready to crawl any day now. So, yeah, that's been my past few weeks. I don't know if I've checked in since then. Don't know what else has been going on that I haven't, talked through, but obviously it wasn't all that important. So I'm on the right track at this point. Just got to get through Saturday and family visits and current kind of life stress. And we'll go from there. See how it goes. I will try to be better about staying up to date here on YouTube, but that might not happen with people visiting because I don't really necessarily want to get them all on camera and talk to them about the way that I'm eating. I don't need any opinions at this point.